Presidential Communications Undersecretary Lorraine Badoy red tags Rappler after it fact-checked some of her misleading Facebook posts. In a post Tuesday, March 2, Badoy accuses Rappler of being a friend and ally of the Communist Party of the Philippines, the New People's Army, and the National Democratic Front of the Philippines. She questions why Rappler is perpetuating the use of the word lumad, which she claims is a term created by the CPP-NPA-NDF. Rappler has since debunked this, with 3 sources proving her claim as false. Badoy, who is also the spokesperson for the Task Force Against Local Communists, also takes issue with Rappler's fact-check of a photo claiming a lumad school called Alcadev was teaching students to become members of the NPA. Rappler's fact-check team finds the photo was from a theater performance. In another Facebook post Wednesday, March 3, Badoy says, aside from being a cyber libel central, Rappler continues to cover this noxious CPP-NPA-NDF creation. Rappler strongly condemns Badoy's irresponsible red tagging, saying its fact-check initiative is rooted in a multi-level process of verification to ensure that the reports are accurate. Rappler also denies defending the NPA and advises Badoy to stick to the facts and to put an end to her relentless habit of baseless red tagging. It adds, Rappler will continue to strive for truth and combat disinformation by citing reputable sources in our reports. This mandate is never an indication of terrorism, but of our inclination toward democracy and justice. Rappler CEO Maria Ressa testifies before the Court of Tax Appeals Thursday, March 4. She and Rappler Holdings are facing 4 counts of tax evasion and failure to file accurate tax returns. This is the first time Ressa testifies in court after a series of cases filed against her and Rappler. Ressa is the last witness to be presented by the defense in the CTA cases, which were filed by the Justice Department in November 2018.
It's unbelievable, but you take it, right? It's like, it's the price of doing journalism, unfortunately. And I hope that I'll just hold the line and win. We will win these cases.
The DOJ claims that Rappler Holdings is a dealer in securities and should have paid sales taxes for the Philippine Depositary Receipts or PDRs it issued to Omidyar Network.
It's ridiculous. You know, the fact that they claim that our company is a dealer in securities. We're not. We're a news organization. Rappler Holdings is a holding company for a news organization.
Ressa and Rappler have slammed these as harassment suits, saying PDRs are constitutional investment instruments and that the company paid the correct taxes. Ressa, Rappler, its staff and officers have been subjected to at least 11 investigations, complaints, and cases since President Rodrigo Duterte falsely accused the organization of being foreign-owned. 10 arrest warrants were issued against Ressa in less than 2 years. Vice President Leni Robredo says President Rodrigo Duterte acted unpresidential when he insulted her for supposedly making it appear his government disregarded the regulatory processes for Sinovac's COVID-19 vaccine. In an interview with Malu Mangahas on GMA7, Robredo says public servants are not supposed to be onion-skinned. Robredo adds, leaders should always welcome suggestions and criticisms aimed at improving their programs, like the administration's delayed and problem-riddled mass vaccination effort against COVID-19. Robredo's response comes as Duterte once again lashed out at her on Monday, March 1. She earlier backed calls of healthcare workers to have the Health Technology Assessment Council review the donated COVID-19 vaccines before it was rolled out. The president dared Robredo to go vaccine shopping outside the country and said he will give her the money should she find the much-needed supplies. The vice president has long earned Duterte's ire. He would often resort to insulting her whenever she criticizes his faulty or abusive policies. Malacañang affirms vaccinations of certain government officials did not follow the vaccination priority list. Presidential spokesman Harry Roque calls these breaches in protocol. This comes after some officials drew flack for getting a coronavac shot even if they're not medical frontliners. Interior Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya, Metropolitan Manila Development Authority Chief of Staff Michael Salalima, and Quezon Representative Helen Tan all received a vaccine shot even if they're not medical frontliners. The INITAG, the Technical Advisory Group for Vaccines, made the decision to limit the vaccines to health workers, but Roque notes it came late.
Yung desisyon na rineject yung mga government officials acting as influencers to boost public confidence was not really publicly disseminated, no?
Meantime, President Rodrigo Duterte gets to choose his COVID-19 vaccine. In a speech Thursday, Duterte says he prefers the Sinopharm vaccine.
Ang akin is Sinopharm, China. Hindi masyado ako maano dyan sa mga produkto ng puti.
I think the president is a president, and because he is over 70 years old, no?
Former Special Envoy to China Mon Tulfo had earlier revealed the president was injected with the Sinopharm vaccine at a time when it was still considered illegal. In related news, in Cebu, Dr. Gerardo Aquino Jr., Medical Center Chief of the Vicente Soto Memorial Medical Center, is the first Cebuano to receive the Sinovac vaccine.
As a doctor, as a medical doctor, we know vaccine is very important in the prevention of this pandemic. Kaya nga kami mismo, ng top officials ng Vicente Soto, ay nangunguna para talaga ipakita sa kanila na wala silang dapat katakutan.
The city started vaccinating around 1,200 health workers Thursday, March 4, after the vaccines arrived from Manila Tuesday. As this develops, around 17,400 vials of the Sinovac COVID-19 vaccine arrive in northern Mindanao on Thursday, March 4. The vaccines encased in biofreezers arrived at the Laguindigan Airport in Misamis Oriental. Cagayan de Oro, the regional center, is set to receive around half of the vaccine doses. Lawyer Angelo Carlo Guillen, a representative of dozens of activists in their petition against the controversial anti-terror law, was stabbed by masked men in Iloilo City Wednesday night, March 3. Police say two unidentified men wearing masks tailed Guillen, prompting him to run. The culprits caught up and mauled the lawyer before stabbing him in the left lower temple with a screwdriver. The attackers took his backpack and sling bag before fleeing. The suspects are still at large. Police say Guillen is in stable condition as of this posting. Guillen is a lawyer in the anti-terror law petition of various multi-sectoral groups led by the National Union of People's Lawyers, or NUPL, where he serves as an assistant vice president for the Visayas. The Integrated Bar of the Philippines condemns what it sees as an assassination attempt on Guillen. In a statement, the group says, inflicting violence on those who seek justice is criminality to the highest degree. Prince Harry's wife Meghan accuses Buckingham Palace of perpetuating falsehoods about her and her spouse, saying the royal couple will not be silent in telling their story. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, makes the comments to Oprah Winfrey in an interview about why they quit their royal roles. An advanced excerpt of the interview was released Wednesday, hours after Buckingham Palace said it was very concerned about reports that Meghan bullied assistants who worked for her 2 years ago. Harry and Meghan denied that she had bullied anyone. A spokeswoman for Meghan earlier said she was saddened by this latest attack on her character, particularly as someone who has been the target of bullying herself. The royal couple stepped back from their official duties in March last year to forge new careers and a financially independent life in California. Last month, they also handed over all their royal patronages, fueled in part by intense scrutiny from the press. Meghan recently won a privacy case against British tabloid The Mail, which had printed extracts of a letter she wrote to her father. She is seeking £1.5 million or $2.1 million in legal costs.